Detective Serene was sitting at her cluttered desk in the dimly lit office when her phone rang. Her heart quickened as she recognized the caller ID. It was Sergeant Ali. "Detective Serene, we have a situation." Ali's voice crackled over the line, filled with urgency. "There's been a murder, a child." Serene's expression turned grave. "Where did this happen?" "Near the old mill on the outskirts of town." "I'm sending you the details now. We need you here as soon as possible." "On my way," she replied, her mind racing with questions. When Serene arrived at the scene, flashing blue and red lights lit up the desolate area near the mill. She stepped out of her car, her senses heightened. The air was heavy with a chilling silence, broken only by the murmurs of the officers gathering evidence. "Over here, detective," called out Officer Amir, gesturing for her to come closer. As she approached, her eyes fell on the small, lifeless body covered with a white sheet. Her heart sank. This was more than just another case. It was a tragedy that would leave scars. "What do we know so far?" she asked, maintaining her composure. "Victim is a 7-year-old boy named Amir. Neighbors reported hearing a scream late last night, but no one saw anything suspicious." "We're interviewing the parents now," Samir replied. "Let's start there. I need to understand who Amir was and if anyone had a motive," Serene said firmly. Inside a nearby police vehicle, Serene found Amir's parents, their faces pale and drained of hope. They were in shock, clinging to each other as they whispered inconsolably. "Mr. and Mrs. Khalil, I'm Detective Serene. I know this is a difficult time, but I need to ask you a few questions," she said gently. "Why would someone do this to our son?" Mr. Khalil stammered. "We'll find out," Serene assured him. "But I need to know about Amir. Did he have any enemies? Or anyone he might have been afraid of?" Mrs. Khalil shook her head. "No, Amir was a sweet boy. He loved playing with friends." "We don't understand." Serene paused, observing their shattered expressions. "What about his friends? Were there any changes in his behavior recently?" "Maybe he mentioned something about a new kid at school. He seemed a bit scared over the past few days," she whispered. Serene took note of the information and decided to visit Amir's school. She wanted to learn more about this new kid. At the school, she met with the principal, Mrs. Farah. "We had a new student join recently, a boy named Omar. He's been a bit withdrawn. But other than that, no issues." "Why do you ask?" "Amir's parents mentioned him." "Have you noticed anything unusual?" Serene probed. "Just that he often seems to watch the other children play from a distance." "I'll have the teacher provide you with a list of those who associated with Amir," Mrs. Farah offered. After collecting names and speaking to several students, Serene finally had a lead.